Centuries had passed since humanity first stepped beyond Earth's atmosphere, reaching out to touch the stars. Human colonies had spread across the galaxy, some thriving, others lost to the dark void of space. Earth, the cradle of all human life, had become a beacon of hope and history, a symbol of endurance through countless ages. But now, that hope was fading under the cold shadow of a looming threat. The Galactic Empire, a vast and merciless force that ruled many star systems, with an iron grip, had set its eyes on Earth. For decades, the Empire had expanded relentlessly, crushing any who dared to resist. Their fleets were massive, their weapons devastating, and their will absolute. Now they had sent a message to Earth, a simple, chilling demand: surrender unconditionally or be destroyed. The broadcast arrived without warning, cutting through Earth's communications with a finality that sent shivers down the spines of every leader and citizen. The Empire's voice was cold and unyielding, offering no negotiation, no mercy. Just surrender or face total annihilation. The world's governments immediately convened emergency councils, trying to find a way out of the impossible choice. Military commanders reviewed their arsenals, only to realize the overwhelming gap between Earth's defenses and the Empire's armada. Earth's fleets, while advanced by human standards, were no match for the sheer scale and firepower of the Empire's warships. Panic began to spread among the population as news of the ultimatum reached every corner of the globe. Families gathered in their homes, hoping for a miracle, fearing the worst. Schools closed, businesses shut down, and streets emptied as the countdown to possible destruction began ticking ever closer. Yet amid the despair and fear, something unexpected happened. Earth's top communication stations picked up a strange transmission, one that did not match the Empire's usual signals. It was faint, almost lost in the noise, but it was definitely a message. As technicians worked to isolate and decode it, the world held its breath. The transmission revealed the presence of a fleet approaching Earth's orbit, a fleet unlike anything ever recorded before. The ships were described as sleek black silhouettes against the stars, moving with a silence and speed that defied known human technology. Their origins were unknown, their intentions unclear, but their timing was impeccable. The arrival of this mysterious black fleet introduced a new element to the dire situation. Could they be allies, come to defend Earth in its darkest hour? Or were they a new enemy, poised to strike without warning? Speculation ran wild. Governments scrambled to send out diplomatic messages, attempting to make contact with the unknown fleet. Military radars tracked the ships closely, their numbers growing as they appeared from the void. The Empire's forces, confident and unchallenged, until now were caught off guard. For the first time, the invaders showed signs of caution. Earth's leaders seized the moment, rallying their people with messages of resilience and hope. Across the globe, citizens watched the skies, some in fear, others in awe. The Black Fleet's shadow darkened the heavens, but with it came a spark, a glimmer of possibility that Earth might not be alone, and that perhaps the tide of fate could be turned. Scientists and strategists began to analyze the Black Fleet's technology, searching for clues about their strength and purpose. Every day, new information emerged, deepening the mystery and fueling anticipation. The story of Earth's surrender demand had taken an unexpected twist, shifting from certain doom to uncertain hope. The world waited, united and tense, as the silent watchers in black drew closer, preparing to reveal their true role in the battle for humanity's survival. In the end, the question was no longer if Earth would fall, but who the Black Fleet really wasn't, whether their arrival meant the dawn of a new era or the start of an even greater war. The stars watched silently, holding their secrets as Earth's fate hung in the balance. The massive armada of the Galactic Empire hung like a dark storm above Earth's atmosphere, a terrifying display of power that seemed to confirm their belief in their own invincibility. The enormous warships, each bristling with weaponry and armored to near-impervious levels, cast deep shadows over the planet's surface as they prepared to enforce their ultimatum. The Empire's commanders were confident that their overwhelming force alone would crush any resistance. Their belief in their superiority was absolute, and the soldiers aboard those ships shared in that certainty, ready to strike with ruthless efficiency at a moment's notice. But then, without warning, the sky above Earth shifted in an almost eerie silence. The Black Fleet arrived, merging from the darkness of space like ghostly phantoms. These new ships were unlike anything anyone had ever seen before, sleek and streamlined. Their hulls dark as night, absorbing light rather than reflecting it. They moved with incredible speed and agility, darting between the massive Imperial vessels with a precision that stunned even Earth's most seasoned military observers. Unlike the Empire's slow and lumbering giants, the Black Fleet's ships were compact and efficient, as if designed for swift strikes and quick maneuvers. Their advanced technology was immediately evident. Their energy shields shimmered faintly in the void, and their weapon systems hummed with a silent power that made the Empire's warships look old-fashioned by comparison. Without hesitation, the Black Fleet engaged the Empire's forces. Laser beams and plasma bolts lit up the blackness of space as the two fleets clashed in a furious battle. The Empire, caught off guard by this unexpected arrival, scrambled to respond. But the Black Fleet moved too quickly and struck too precisely. Their attacks were calculated, hitting weak points and disabling key systems with minimal collateral damage. The battle was not just a test of strength, but a demonstration of mastery. Every move the Black Fleet made spoke of discipline, experience, and a deep knowledge of their enemy's tactics. On Earth, news of the battle spread like wildfire. Television, screens, communication networks, and social media channels all lit up with live footage from satellites and space stations tracking the engagement. People around the world watched in stunned silence as the Black Fleet held its ground against the Empire's overwhelming might. Yet, even as hope began to flicker in the hearts of many, questions swirled like a storm. Who were these mysterious ships? Where had they come from after all these years of silence and darkness? And most importantly, could they truly be trusted? Scientists, engineers, and military commanders on Earth worked day and night to analyze the strange technology exhibited by the Black Fleet. Their initial findings showed designs that were both familiar and alien, combining human engineering principles with innovations far beyond anything publicly known. Speculation ran wild. Some believed the Black Fleet was a secret faction of humanity that had been lost to time. Others suspected an alliance of alien races who had chosen Earth's side in this cosmic struggle. The military strategists considered the possibilities carefully. If the Black Fleet were allies, their intervention could be the turning point that humanity desperately needed. Their presence gave Earth's scattered defenses new hope, emboldening commanders to coordinate more aggressive tactics and prepare for a possible counterattack. But if the Black Fleet were enemies or worse, a third force with its own hidden agenda, the consequences could be catastrophic. Their true intentions remained shrouded in mystery, leaving Earth's leaders to weigh each decision with extreme caution. As the battle in orbit intensified, Earth itself seemed to hold its breath. Cities were quiet and streets emptied as people focused their attention on the heavens. The contrast between the Empire's overwhelming force and the Black Fleet's swift, ghost-like maneuvers created a spectacle that felt almost unreal, as if the fate of the world was being decided in a cosmic dance between light and darkness. Scientists discovered that the Black Fleet's ships emitted an unusual energy signature, one that seemed to interfere with the Empire's communications and targeting systems. This disruption added a critical advantage, giving Earth's allies the edge needed to avoid devastating blows. Meanwhile, the Empire's commanders grew frustrated and desperate, their pride wounded by this unexpected resistance. They ordered more aggressive attacks, but their forces were continually outmaneuvered. The battle dragged on, turning into a war of attrition in Earth's orbit, with neither side willing to give ground. Yet the Black Fleet remained mysterious and silent beyond their actions. No messages came from them, no demands or declarations. Only the relentless sounds of war in the vacuum of space and the flickering lights of their ships battling for survival. On Earth, speculation grew into theories and rumors, but nothing was confirmed. Some whispered that the Black Fleet might be descendants of early human explorers who had disappeared into the far reaches of space, returning now as guardians of their ancestral home. Others feared that they could be conquerors themselves, testing Earth before revealing their true intentions. The uncertainty added a heavy weight to every decision made by Earth's leaders, who knew that the future of humanity depended not only on the outcome of this battle, but on understanding the nature of the shadowy fleet defending them. As days turned into nights, the battle continued to rage, but so did humanity's spirit. The sight of the Black Fleet gave people hope, a belief that they were not alone, and that even against the Empire's overwhelming power, victory might still be possible. In the quiet moments between attacks, the world looked up to the skies, waiting for answers that had yet to come. The Empire's demand for surrender had been met with silence from Earth and resistance from a force that had appeared as if from nowhere. The Black Fleet's emergence changed everything, raising new questions, sparking new hope, and setting the stage for a conflict that would decide the fate of not just Earth, but the entire galaxy. Humanity was no longer a weak planet to be crushed, but a battleground for forces far greater and more mysterious than anyone could have imagined. The shadowed ships of the Black Fleet had arrived, and with them, the first true sign that the story of Earth's survival was far from over, as the fierce battles continued to rage above Earth. With the Black Fleet and the Empire locked in a deadly contest of power and strategy, Earth's top intelligence officers worked tirelessly behind the scenes. In secure command centers scattered around the globe, teams of cryptographers, linguists, and cyber experts focused on decrypting the encrypted transmissions intercepted from the Black Fleet. These messages were not easy to decode. They were wrapped in layers of complex codes and unfamiliar symbols, designed to keep their secrets safe from any unintended ears. For days and nights, the teams pored over every fragment of data, piecing together clues that could reveal the identity and motives of these mysterious warriors. Finally, after countless hours of intense analysis, a startling truth began to emerge. The Black Fleet was not an alien armada, nor a random band of mercenaries as some had feared. Instead, the ships belonged to a coalition of former human colonist descendants, of the earliest space pioneers who had left Earth many decades ago and vanished from all known records. These colonists had settled on distant, harsh worlds far beyond the reach of Earth's communication networks, worlds where survival demanded innovation, resilience, and a fierce will to endure. Over the years, isolated from Earth and the rest of humanity, these pioneers had built their own society, shaped by the challenges of unforgiving environments and the constant threat of hostile forces in the galaxy. They had become warriors, trained and hardened by necessity, adapting their technology far beyond what even the Empire had achieved. Their ships reflected this evolution, small, fast, and powerful, equipped with advanced weapons and defenses that made them nearly invisible to traditional sensors and immune to many of the Empire's attacks. This revelation changed everything. The arrival of the Black Fleet was not a coincidence or a random act of intervention. It was a calculated, deliberate strike designed to protect Earth, the cradle of humanity, from the Empire's cruel conquest. These descendants of early pioneers viewed Earth not just as a home planet, but as the source of their heritage, a symbol of everything humanity stood for. Their return was a declaration that they would not allow the Empire to claim Earth without a fight. Earth's leaders absorbed this news with a mix of relief and awe. The presence of allies with such advanced knowledge and fierce determination meant that the battle for Earth was no longer one-sided. But with this hope came new questions and concerns. How long had these colonists been watching? Why had they waited so long to reveal themselves? And what sacrifices had they made to build the power that could now defend humanity's homeworld? Intelligence officers continued to scan every transmission for more details, hoping to learn the colonists' plans, their strengths, and any weaknesses that might help Earth prepare for the ongoing war. Meanwhile, military strategists coordinated with their new allies, cautious but eager to combine their efforts. The Black Fleet, though silent in words, communicated through their actions precision strikes, coordinated attacks, and relentless defense showed a deep understanding of Earth's vulnerabilities and strengths. As the days passed, Earth scientists began studying the recovered technology from the Black Fleet, marveling at the breakthroughs in propulsion, energy shields, and weaponry. These discoveries hinted at decades of secret development, fueled by a fierce commitment to survival and freedom. The planet's people, inspired by this alliance, found renewed courage. Messages of hope and determination spread worldwide, placing fear with the belief that Earth could withstand the Empire's assault. Families gathered to watch updates, children asked questions about the brave warriors fighting in space, and leaders spoke of unity and resilience. Yet, the shadows of doubt lingered. The Empire was a relentless enemy, known for cunning and cruelty. It would not retreat easily or accept defeat without retaliation. The knowledge of the Black Fleet's true identity also raised concerns about the future. If these colonists had changed so much, would they still share Earth's values? Would they remain allies after the battle was won? Such questions haunted the minds of many, even as they hoped for peace. Despite these uncertainties, the immediate focus remained clear: defend Earth at all costs. The Black Fleet's presence shifted the balance of power, forcing the Empire to rethink its strategy and face an unexpected challenge. Battles continued above the planet, but now they carried new meaning: a fight not only for survival, but for the right of humanity to shape its own destiny. As the mysterious ships glided through space, dark against the starry backdrop, they carried with them the secrets of the past and the promise of a future where Earth would no longer stand alone. The shadows in space held many mysteries, but the truth had begun to shine: a story of lost pioneers, of resilience and hope, and of a fight to reclaim what was always humanity's, the right to live free and unbroken. With the arrival and steadfast support of the Black Fleet, the tide of battle above Earth began to shift in ways few had dared to imagine. The combined forces of Earth and these mysterious warriors moved with renewed strength and determination, pushing back against the once unstoppable Empire. What had seemed like an inevitable defeat now appeared far from certain. The first major victories came quickly. Joint operations led to the crippling of several Imperial strongholds orbiting the planet. These stations, once thought impenetrable, fell to the coordinated assaults of Earth's forces and the Black Fleet's precise strikes. The Empire's towering warships were damaged or destroyed in spectacular displays of skill and strategy. As each victory was won, the arrogance that had defined the Empire's approach to conquest began to crumble. Their commanders, long accustomed to easy triumphs, were forced to acknowledge a bitter truth: Earth was not the weak, isolated world they had assumed. The human spirit, fueled by desperation and hope, proved to be a force far stronger than any technology alone could measure. On the ground, Earth's citizens responded with a fierce pride and unity that surprised even the most optimistic leaders. Civilians rallied to support the war effort in countless ways, volunteering for service, providing resources, and standing strong in the face of uncertainty. The once fearful planet now buzzed with determination and a collective resolve to defend their home at all costs. Engineers and scientists worked tirelessly, taking captured Imperial technology and reverse engineering it to strengthen Earth's defenses. Their breakthroughs began to close the technological gap that had once seemed impossible to overcome. New weapon systems, better shields, and faster ships emerged from these efforts, breathing new life into humanity's military capabilities. Meanwhile, the battle above Earth inspired a ripple effect across the galaxy. Other star systems under the Empire's heavy hand saw the resistance and began to stir. Inspired by Earth's resilience and the Black Fleet's intervention, pressed colonies and planets started to rise up, sparking rebellions and disrupting the Empire's supply lines and control. These uprisings, though small at first, quickly gained momentum, creating a network of resistance that threatened to unravel the Empire's grip on the galaxy. Earth became a symbol, a beacon of hope and defiance. Leaders from these rebel worlds sought alliances with Earth's commanders, forging partnerships that promised to change the balance of power forever. The Empire's forces found themselves fighting on multiple fronts, struggling to contain a rebellion that seemed to grow stronger with each passing day. Yet the battle was not without cost. Losses mounted on both sides, and the skies above Earth remained a dangerous place. The struggle was intense, filled with moments of heartbreak and triumph. But through it all, humanity's spirit burned, brighter than ever before. Each victory renewed the hope that freedom was within reach. Each setback reminded them of the price they were willing to pay for it. The leaders of Earth and the Black Fleet understood the stakes. This was not just a fight to defend a planet, but a fight to reclaim humanity's place in the galaxy. The turning tide was more than a military success. It was a statement to the Empire and all who might threaten freedom anywhere in the stars. Earth was rising, no longer a silent victim, but a powerful force ready to shape its own future. Skies that had once been darkened by fear now glowed with the light of determination and courage. And as the battles continued, it became clear to all that the story of Earth was far from over. It was only just beginning. The fight for freedom, sparked by hope and sustained by unity, would echo through the galaxy, changing the course of history and proving that even against overwhelming odds, the human spirit could never be extinguished. After weeks of fierce battles and relentless struggle, the once mighty galactic empire found itself forced to retreat, battered and humiliated by the combined strength of Earth's forces and the Black Fleet, the Imperial warships, many damaged beyond repair. Pulled back into the dark reaches of space, leaving behind the orbit of a planet that refused to bow. Though the Empire's withdrawal marked a significant victory, it was clear to all that this was not the end. The Empire's leaders vowed to return with greater force, determined to crush the defiance that had dared to rise against them. But Earth, for the first time in centuries, stood not as a frightened and isolated world, but as a united beacon of strength and resilience. The planet's skies, once shadowed by the threat of invasion, now gleamed with a renewed promise, a promise of survival, hope, and a future shaped by courage and unity. Central to this new beginning was the unexpected alliance forged with the Black Fleet, no longer mere mysterious protectors. The fleet's leaders revealed their willingness to share their advanced knowledge and technology with Earth's defenders. Together, they began integrating their forces, combining centuries of experience and innovation with Earth's diverse resources and spirit. This partnership was about more than just military strength. It was a symbol of a new era in which humanity would no longer be divided or vulnerable, but would rise through cooperation and mutual respect. Scientists and engineers worked side by side, blending human ingenuity with the Black Fleet's breakthroughs in propulsion, energy, and defense systems. The once clear lines between Earth's forces and the Black Fleet blurred as they trained, planned, and prepared for whatever challenges the future might hold. This era was not simply about surviving the next battle. It was about building a future where Earth would lead, not through fear or submission, but through unity and strength. The people of Earth, inspired by this transformation, felt a deep sense of pride and purpose. From the smallest villages to the largest cities, citizens celebrated the dawn of this new chapter. Knowing that their sacrifices and courage had sparked a revolution that would resonate across the stars, schools reopened with lessons that taught not only history and science, but also the values of cooperation and hope. Families looked to the skies no longer with fear but with wonder, dreaming of a galaxy where humanity could thrive as champions of peace and freedom. Yet, the shadow of the Empire's threat still lingered in the minds of many. Leaders remained vigilant, aware that the peace they now enjoyed was fragile. The promise of the Black Fleet's support was a shield, but not an impenetrable one. Plans were laid for rapid response and defense, for diplomacy and alliance building with other worlds inspired by Earth's stand. The galaxy, once seen as a place of danger and domination, was beginning to transform into a community of shared hopes and struggles. Earth stood at the center of this transformation, no longer a silent bystander, but a shining example of what could be achieved when people united. The turning of the tide had shown that even in the darkest times, courage and determination could light a path forward. As the Empire retreated into the distant reaches of space, it left behind more than just scars. It left a lesson that strength could be found in unity, that resistance could be born from hope, and that the future belonged to those willing to fight for it together. The Black Fleet's presence remained a constant reminder that humanity was no longer alone, that the bonds forged in battle were bonds of trust and friendship that would carry them through whatever challenges lay ahead. And so, as Earth's people looked up at the stars, they saw not darkness, but a shining galaxy filled with endless possibilities. The black shadows that once darkened the skies had given way to light born of courage, unity, and the unbreakable spirit of a species determined to rise. In this new era, Earth was no longer just a planet fighting for survival. It was a leader, a protector, and a symbol of hope for all who dreamed of freedom among the stars. The future stretched out before them, wide and bright, ready to be shaped by the hands of those who dared to believe in a better tomorrow. The dawn of a new era had come, and humanity was ready to meet it with open hearts and unyielding resolve.